Boyd Broncos got off to a great start to this year, hit a little bit of a rough patch as they're entering district play, but they have plenty of time to turn around. I'm joined by their head coach, Brooke Court, and Coach, your first year to coach Boyd on the varsity. You're previously a coach at Lovejoy and then an assistant at McKinney North, so you're familiar with the McKinney area. Indeed, what has been some of the challenges becoming a new head coach with a team that isn't used to maybe your style?
Oh, just getting to know the kids and getting them to play hard in the way I like to teach how to play the game. It's a new system and it takes a little bit of time, but they're picking it up well, and hopefully, we can turn this rough patch that we're going through and get on a roll with the team.
You started off in the Den Ryan Classic tournament, and you won 4 straight before losing in the final of that tournament to Frisco Wakeland in an 8-5 game in Wakeland. That has been one of the dominant 4A teams for the past few years, so a great performance in that tournament.
Yeah, it was a good tournament. It was a good start to the year. Pitched well, played defense well, and then got timely hits throughout that whole tournament. So it was a good tournament and a good start.
In the next couple of tournaments, you lost a few games, and you played a lot of quality opponents in those games as well, but why do you think you didn't duplicate the same success you had early on?
I think we got a little shocked when they had a big inning. A lot with the Wiley tournament is they had big innings against Byron Nelson. I think it was the 5th inning, and then against Saxe it was the 2nd inning. They had big innings. I think Byron Nelson was 10 runs and Saxe was 6. We kind of got shell-shocked a little bit there, and within the big inning it was defensive and it was pitching, not throwing strikes. So
it seems like baseball is really a game that's kind of a cumulative effect. If somebody starts to get hot hitting, the whole team can get hot, and in the same token, defensively, it seems like if one person makes an error, everybody kind of tenses up and makes errors too.
Yeah, that's true, and that's kind of what we're battling right now, is trying to get them to relax and play and believe in what they do, because they do it in practice every day.
Who in particular has really impressed you so far this year on your team?
I mean, Russell Williams is a great athlete. He's our shortstop. He's a kid that every coach wants. He's great on the field and he's great off the field. Will Hollis, who's our sophomore left fielder, he's a great baseball player, a lot of physical ability, and is maturing as we go throughout the season. Jalen Jackson's been a great surprise for us in the outfield. He's really hitting well, and he either plays right or center field for us.
Will Hollis, in particular, is somebody I've noticed because he started as a freshman last year. He's only a sophomore this year, and he's already, has the size of a player that would be a senior, and he still has room to grow, and yet he's, hits so well at a young age. It's a tough thing to do in baseball when you're playing against guys a couple years older than you to duplicate that success.
Yeah, and we've been working with Will on his mental game. Physically, he's pretty much there. Obviously, he's going to get better every day, but mentally, we've been working on his approach at the at-bat, and he's been showing it throughout the past 3 or 4 games. He's been taking those approaches we've been teaching him, and he's been producing for us.
As far as your pitching staff goes, Carson Chilton and Tyler Keegan have been 2 of your better pitchers throughout this year. What about them makes them so effective on the mound?
Well, Chilton is a side armor. He's got great movement. He can sink the fastball underneath the right-hander's hands, and he's got a good slider, which keeps him off balance. Doesn't throw particularly hard, but he's real effective on the movement of his pitches. Keegan is a right-handed pitcher, and he throws anywhere from 85 to 87, so he's got a little bit of velocity on the ball. But he also is a sinker pitcher, and he has a great slider too.
In your first 2 district games, you played Plano West, one of the best teams in the Metroplex, and they beat you 7-2 and 9-3. And those games, really, errors are what cost you the game.
Yeah, it was errors, and it was a team, the whole team making errors. And like I said to our team after the game last Friday night, is we can't give up 8 unearned runs in a game and expect to win it. So we got to make the routine plays behind our pitchers.
Do you feel that maybe you just got all of your bad play out of the way in your first district games because you have 13 more to go?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think the feel's still positive, and I hope those are out of the way, and so we can get on a roll here and make the plays behind the pitchers and get timely hitting, and we'll be okay.
Is this a team that pretty easily shrugs off sort of, games like that?
Yeah, I think sometimes they get a little caught up in what's going on instead of just putting away, the error and making the next play. And so we've been working on that with them throughout the year, and you're starting to see signs of improvement in that, and hopefully somebody makes a big play that'll get us going.
You have Plano coming up next with your next two district games. I was talking to Coach Price earlier. McKinney played a couple of tight games against Plano but lost them both. What do you see from the Plano team, and how can you try and get your first district win?
Well, Plano's very well coached. They're very fast in what they do. Their runners are very fast. I think our pitchers can handle them as far as moving the ball in and out on the plate. They have two good pitchers that we're going to battle with. It's going to be a competitive atmosphere. And like I've told our team, if we make the routine plays and play hard and throw strikes, you're going to be winning a lot of games. So we just haven't done that lately. But once we get back to that, hopefully on Tuesday, we'll see us in the win column.
It's a 6-team district, so 4 teams will make the playoffs. And it's a unique district schedule where, as far as the start of your district season goes, you're playing all the teams back-to-back. You have 2 straight against Plano East and 2 straight against Plano. And sometimes you'll be playing Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday against district opponents. Right. What does that do as far as your preparation for the week?
Well, the preparation for the week as far as the beginning of the district is pretty consistent with what we've had all year because we go Tuesday, Friday. But once we get later on into April when we play 3 days a week, then it's going to change a little bit because we got to get our number 3 guy and number 4 pitcher ready to go for the Saturday games. So,
and one of the new changes in baseball this year has been for the high school level the new BB core bats because they're trying to cut down the amount of home runs, the amount of power that you're able to have. Has that had as much of an effect on the game as you thought they would?
Yeah, I mean, the power numbers are definitely down. So the short game has come back to baseball, and we're seeing a lot more sacrifice bunts, a lot more drag bunts, a lot of hit and runs. But the power numbers definitely are down. So the teams that can play defense and make the routine plays are always going to be in the games.
Do you think that helps or hurt this particular Boyd Broncos team?
Well, coming into the year, I thought defense was going to be one of our strong points, and like we said, we're just in a rough patch right now. I think I'm very confident that we'll get back to where we were in the first tournament as far as our defense and pitching is concerned. But you know, like I tell the kids, if we make the routine plays, you're going to be in every game, and we'll get back to it.
Well, Coach Court, thanks so much for joining us today, and we appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
The McKinney Boyd Broncos, they have no and 2 district start to the schedule. It's something that you would want to avoid, obviously, but there's 13 more district games to go. And this is a team that has certainly shown throughout the year they have the ability, hitting, pitching, and defensively to get the job done.